I've been in India for 1 week at this point, and I'm spending the next week in Bangalore. This city, known as the Silicon Valley of India, is extra special to me since it's the place I called home when I lived in India. Almost a decade later, I'm back to try my favorite food, see wildlife, and witness a fight. I'm as intrigued as you are. After landing in Bangalore at 4 a.m., it was a very emotional reunion with my family who I hadn't seen in 9 years. There's only so far FaceTime can go, so being in person with the people you love is just incomparable. Even stepping into my childhood home again brought back all the memories instantly. We made it to Bangalore! And it just felt surreal. Yesterday was our first day in Bangalore and it was pretty chill. I ended up spending most of the day in the apartment. I played board games and did a little puzzle with my first cousin. Super sweet. We got a whole day with her. It was really entertaining. And then after that, she wanted to play in the park in the apartment complex. So we went on a little walk, and I remembered so much more than I thought I would. So that was pretty sentimental as well. Way less hunk. This is where I celebrated my first birthday. Obviously, I don't remember any of it, but it's so cute. What we always get here is the Andhra style thali, and till date, I've never tried better Andhra style anywhere. With my hands because that's how we traditionally eat them. Rasam is so good. It has the perfect amount of tanginess, but it didn't take away from the spice. Not a single thing on this plate is bland. Everything is packed with flavor. Every single thing on this plate also tastes different. Here. Oh my god! And the lights are out. Finally, at the very end of the meal, they will give you a bowl of warm water and some lemon for you to cleanse your hands in. This whole experience was so intriguing because it's unlike any other restaurant that I've ever been to. We are going to Sapna Book House right now. This was the stationery store that apparently I used to go to when I was younger, so it's just been a whole day of walking down memory lane today. Today we are going to the iconic Church Street. There are so many options here for shopping and dining, and even the atmosphere here is just so lively. Oh wait, this is a video.
पकडायचं असतं कप वरती घे ना तुम्ही असं हे कशाला ते चिकटला नाही आहे तो सॉस टिल्टिंग द होल थिंग माझी पर्स आहे ना मम्माची
tastes really good, and it actually tastes like coffee, and I usually don't like that, but that actually tastes really good. Also, it's so good, my mom wasn't even willing to share it with me.
We also got a glimpse of the nightlife here. If you thought it was lively before, just wait till you see this.
Okay, let's go get it first.
This is so embarrassing and humbling. Oh my god. Look how cute she looks in a bucket. We tried bargaining for the bucket hat and then walked off like baddies, being like, we're not gonna buy it, we don't need it. We had to end up back there because then we realized, yeah, maybe he was being racist.
We saw another stall that basically sold the exact same bucket hats, and they were
not basically, it was the exact same.
And they were selling them for significantly cheaper. And we paid for the more expensive one. And we can't return, obviously.
Tell me why it's been over a week that we've been in India and I haven't found one good Indian dress. Like, really? This is literally India. How are you not gonna be good at making Indian clothes?
We said no to getting a paper bag, so now we're just walking around. We probably should have said yes.
But you thought it was plastic.
Yeah, so we're just walking around with clothes.
It looks like
Hopefully
you
no one thinks,
shoplifted.
yeah, no one thinks. Oh my god.
The actual main meal is a soya chop Mughlai roll. I've never tried with egg. I've never tried soya chop in my life. I've heard a lot of good things about it, so we're gonna give this a try. I really like it. That's so good. The best part is you can tell that this isn't just paneer. I feel like a lot of times Indian fillings will say there's something else and then they just use the same base like paneer masala. This is clearly different.
Hi everybody, I'm Ashnari's sister, small sister. So today we came at Milano. I got Nutella and Oreo. It's so nice. Every time I come here, the ice creams are so good.
Yeah.
Good promotion.
I got 2 scoops. I got the Nutella and honeycomb.
We made it to the troll bridge, but the grumpy old troll won't let us go over his bridge unless we solve his riddle. Will you help us solve it?
These are probably my favorite chips of all time. She's taking way too long. I just want to eat it, bro. Let's go. Alright, so half of the bag is air.
I love the texture.
Alright, I want a big triangle.
3.
No! Alright, finally got a triangle.
3, 2, 1. Mom, they're so good!
Today we're at Commercial Street, so it's a big shopping day and I have some really high hopes for finding some Indian clothes. One of my favorite experiences was getting custom-made Indian clothes. It started off with picking out the fabric, then going down this alley with a bunch of tailors next to each other. After getting our measurements taken and telling them our design of choice, they told us to come back in a couple hours and they would have it ready. We kept roaming around to pass the time and I saw some incredibly elaborate lehengas. I could totally see myself wearing this to get the mail or go to class. Today's the next day. We are not on Commercial Street anymore. So much happened yesterday on Commercial Street, so much that I couldn't vlog. The last thing we expected was that we would be witnessing a full-on verbal fight that could have turned physical at one point. I had a green piece of fabric and she asked, you know, what design do you want? We told her I wanted spaghetti strap and I wanted square neck. We come back after 2 hours. She's like, oh, I'm gonna need half an hour more. We're like, that's fine. Come back. It's like 8:30 and she's like, oh, I know, she's gonna need a little more time. While we're waiting there, she starts putting my green fabric through the sewing machine. So she hadn't started sewing until 8:30 when it was supposed to be done. So then we get it at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, we see it and it's so messed up. The straps are terrible. They're in the wrong places. On top of that, I wanted a square neck. She didn't give a square neck. She gave it a V-neck. And once you cut a piece of fabric, it's basically over because after that, it's gonna look like a patch if you add it back on. Here's where things get interesting. My mom talking to her and asking her like, hey, what's up? This is not what we asked for. Like, we wanted square neck, blah, blah, blah. There's another customer next to us. Her dresses had been messed up too. And she was pretty quiet. But when she saw that we were having issues too, I think it really encouraged her to speak up for her case as well. And she spoke up all right. The volume started to get higher and higher and they were straight up fighting. Then the tailor got mad and she stood up and she started yelling. She's like, don't yell at me in my own store. They were getting closer to each other. They started mixing languages. They were inching towards each other and we were like, are they about to physically have an altercation right now? It started getting so loud. All the tailors in the same alley, they started like looking. Also, while this is happening, a third customer comes and her dress was also messed up. So I'm just saying, this tailor is not very reputable, clearly. She was supposed to be $750 because they messed it up. She was like, I'm only paying $600 for this. And they were like, no, like we're fine with $650. We'll take off 100 rupees, but like $650. And she was just saying no to that. They started screaming. They started a whole screaming match again. And this time things got very vulgar. They started throwing out like crazy words. She literally called her a liar. She spit on the ground. She's like, hopefully they're altering it right now. They messed up the square neck, but at least I get a story out of it. Outfit of the day. Come on in. Ta-da! Today we are going to a mall, but we're not going just anyway. We're taking the train. I'm really excited to go on a train because I feel like trains are such a big part of India and a huge form of transportation around here. I also know it's pretty chaotic, so let's see what we're in for. One of the earliest stops, but so far it's not crowded at all, and I love the view that we're getting behind Bangalore. Not gonna mess this up, not gonna mess this up. Where do you drop it? Where do you drop it? Okay. Someone tell me what to do with this. Hot take, the older illustrations were better than whatever's going on here. Momo's round 2. We went to a place called Wow China. Veg chili delight. Veg Darjeeling delight. Or something. They're different from the trenches. It's so spicy. Is it spicy for you?
Except I love my mouth being on fire. If it's spicy for my mom and my sister, that means it's actually really spicy. So it's definitely got a kick to it. Do y'all hear that? Those are all the parrots in those trees up there. This complex right outside of this mall is honestly really beautiful. Love the ambience. It's a great place to spend an evening if that's what you're looking for. I've never tried peri-peri before, but now I understand the hype. It's really spilling out. Today is a very exciting day. We are at Bannerghatta National Park and we are gonna go on a little safari. Hopefully we're seeing tigers because Bengal tigers are only in India. So this is one of our only chances to see it for a while until we come back here in the future. That's the ultimate goal, and then I would love to see some elephants and deer, a bunch of animals. We're in the safari line. They're claiming that it's gonna take us 30 minutes, but the line looks kind of long, so we're gonna hold them to it because that seems like a really bold claim. Where is it? Time check, what are we at? 55 minutes. We got really good seats. We're right behind the driver. This is what the windows look like. I think we have a really good shot at seeing the animals because we got super lucky with our seats. We're starting the safari right now. At the beginning, we saw some deer and some elephants. A lot of these animals at this point were napping because it was the afternoon, so that's definitely something to keep in mind when you're scheduling your safari. We kind of just took the first one that was available, so we didn't really consider that. This wasn't as much of an open land safari as I had imagined. It was more of a controlled environment where they had gates in different sections for various animals. Seeing the lioness was definitely one of the highlights of this entire safari. I didn't realize before how majestic a lioness can look. I mean, she straight up looks like the queen of the jungle. Here we are. This was the much awaited Bengal tiger sighting. At first, it was camouflaged so well, but then when everyone quieted down, we noticed something moving behind the leaves. I think I still wasn't able to fully grasp how impressive a tiger looks because this one never came out from the bushes, so I was never able to see it in its full grandeur. I felt like the most important element of any safari is the thrill, and I didn't feel the thrill in this one. It almost felt like the Disneyfication of safaris where it's more for just families to see it. It felt like a checklist of you get to see this animal and this animal, but the actual essence of like seeing them in their natural habitat in the wild and having to actually look for them, that was completely missing. The point of a safari is to feel like you're immersed in their natural habitat in their world. Also, I am a little bit conflicted about certain aspects of the park, specifically some of the zones that I saw, the cages. We asked the bus driver why the white tiger was caged and why 2 of the Bengal tigers were caged, and he said that's because they fight with a lot of the other ones, which makes sense, but I still feel like the cage could have kind of been bigger. I also saw an elephant with a chain, so I understand they need to take safety measures, but I still don't know how I feel about them getting that little space. That part was giving zoo. Let me know what you think. The way it's more difficult to find our cab compared to a tiger is crazy. I got the best seat in the entire safari. Sat in the front, and she's acting like she had to personally drive the bus, or she had to chase after the tigers herself, or she had to fight a war. Also, they don't let you take as many sauces as you want. They literally just gave me 1. I usually need like 7 of these. Cheesy. It's oozing with so much hot cheese. Now I can taste the paneer as well. This is really good. I think what I'm missing is the crunchiness of a crunch wrap. The fire sauce here is significantly spicier. Like, I don't know. In America, the fire sauce is kind of a joke. Over here, it acts as a kick to it. So far, Bangalore has treated me well. Failed bargain attempts and intensely spicy momos felt like a hug from an old friend. Taking the metro and seeing tigers were a couple firsts in a place I could call my second home. As I close off on the new year, I still have a couple more eventful days left in Bangalore. Days that immerse me in cultural experiences, visits to historical temples, and Mysore Palace. I hope you'll join me. Bye! The person at the security had to check twice to make sure that something wasn't up because he didn't realize we were twins, and he was like, wait, can I see your passport again? The tailors around, oh, honestly, I've just been evaluating if it tastes good, not actually more like a food critic. I'm not like the food critic from Ratatouille. I'm kind of just enjoying it. So chaotic. Trains are such a big part and a huge form of transformation. Just see them in their actual natural day in the life vlog type. You should. What am I saying? Guys, this is so embarrassing. We're obsessed with Mira the Royal Detective. My cousin got bored of watching it. She wanted to switch it, and we were like, no, can we like keep watching? Cause it's great. I sound like a MasterChef judge, but I'm actually gonna be folding a pizza. I don't know if that's a crime. Guys,